Hi, Andrew here, and today I honestly can't believe I'm free to discuss Flatzoid's preposterous claim that Sigma Octantis is not a star.
We got Sigma Octantis and we got Polaris. Although Sigma Octantis is not really, it's
A
just
star, is it?
yeah, it's just a point they gave for the southern rotation.
So, it's just a point they gave for southern rotation? As an aside, that's rather interesting because Flatzoid, who lives in the southern hemisphere, has always denied there even is a south celestial pole and that stars appear to rotate around it, specifically clockwise. He avoids admitting to the inconvenience of southern star rotation by clinging to the demonstrably wrong flirt phrase that all stars move from east to west. Only his own reluctance to disprove his shaky beliefs is keeping him from going out on any clear night and seeing this rotation for himself. And now the story starts to get interesting. He was called out on his claim by Aaron Armstrong in this video.
Flatzoid, you mentioned yesterday that Sigma Octantis doesn't exist and it's just an imaginary name for an imaginary spot. Well, you should know, because you live in the southern hemisphere, that you can see it. It's hard to see. We can barely see it with our eyes, but you can see it with binoculars, you can see it with a telescope, you can see it with a bunch of stuff. You're making like 10 mistakes a day, man. You need to sort yourself out. It's just ridiculous. But well done on making an absolute cracker of a mistake. It's my perspective.
And in true Flatzoid fashion, he changed his claim, saying, "It's not visible with our eyes. It's barely visible at all. It's an arbitrary star position for rotation." So it's somewhat contradicting himself in the process. Well, at magnitude 5.5, Sigma Octantis should be visible in a reasonably dark location to someone with okay eyesight if they know where to look. As for being barely visible at all, as Aaron pointed out, it's easily visible with even the most basic set of binoculars. So when Aaron reminded Flatzoid of what he'd originally said, Flatzoid flipped back, saying, "Yes, there is no star there. It's not visible. How do you know it's even a star?" So which is it, Flatzy? Is there nothing there and it's just a marker that happens to be 1 degree off the centre of rotation that you don't even believe exists? Or is it something that's barely visible and may not actually be a star? Or is it something that's entirely invisible? And far from his usual practice of making only the vaguest of claims, Flatzoid has ended up claiming multiple
Very simple.
self-contradictory things. Well, I solved some of the non-mystery for you, Flatzoid. There is a point of light exactly where it's supposed to be, and, again as Aaron noted, this is something you could do yourself. With just an ordinary household smartphone, I took this photo of the region of the sky that the non-existent Sigma Octantis is alleged to exist in. Of course, any self-respecting astrophotographer knows a photographic plate is best analysed in the negative, and in no time at all I'd matched a whole swathe of stars to this screenshot from Stellarium. A Crux is the bright star in the bottom left of the picture, with the remainder of the Southern Cross directly out of frame to the left. Then moving rightwards, there's a box of bright stars in Musca, and further to the upper right, a box of stars in Chameleon. And a little bit further to the lower right is a curve of stars that go from A+ into Octans. We're now in an area that doesn't show many definite stars amongst the noise of the photo, so I projected some lines towards where Sigma Octantis should be, and sure enough, there's a point of light exactly where it's supposed to be. Now I have to admit I was a little surprised to have captured it, given the not so dark skies I was in and the ill-equipped camera I was using. So there you go, Flatzoid. Sigma Octantis, Polaris Australis, the southern pole star, something you say doesn't exist.